Okay. Thank you, Aki. Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to have you guys here. As usual, this is not a teaching session per se. So it's more of you talking and me listening, and then other mentors chiming in with their solutions. So yeah, the floor is open to everybody and anybody that has questions. I mean, you dropped some things on the thread, but if you would drop something on the thread and you will not be in the class, I don't think I would attend to it. So that's for those that replied my thread, by the way. For any questions at all, from the very first class to the very last class, from the first task to the last task, we are here for you. If you want to share your screen, if you have designs that you want us to vet, or give feedback on, it's really your session today. So, and I know the task you have, so I would advise that you take advantage of your mentors today. Okay, Chidinma. Chidinma, you can go.
Good evening.
Yeah, good
okay,
evening.
So I have a question actually. My question is, you said that we should add a recording of the test, the conversations we have with the users while we are carrying out the usability test.
Yep.
But I had submitted something earlier, but I did make videos. I didn't just add it. But the question now is, what I submitted earlier was a Google link. So how do I add these videos to the Google link? Or I can submit like another thing. What can I do at this point?
Yeah, if you're doing videos, then you have to upload it to a Google Drive link. And then it's the link to the Google Drive that you get to submit.
So exactly. On my Google Doc, I have like the other things, the test script, the results from the so the result from the test I carried out, and then the usability heuristics thing that was also the section 2 question. Should I move those into the Google Doc and then so everything is now on the Google Drive instead, not the Google Doc anymore? That what you're saying?
How many links for submission did you see there? Just one, right? Good.
Yes.
So it's a simple section 1, right? And then link to this, link to that. So if you have your recordings, so you say link to recordings, then you put the link to the Google Drive. Do you get? If there's a link to the result, you put it there, link to result, then you put a link to whatever result. If it's a Google Sheet, however you uploaded the result or however you have the result. Then section 2, your answers. Do you understand? So it's one document and you just state what is what. Do you get me at all? I have my video. I upload it first to the Google Drive. So it's hosted there. Then I go back to the single Google document, Google Doc link, and I'm submitting. And then I put the link to that drive there. Obviously, I'll give access to everyone. Is it clear? It's just one document.
I can submit 2 links in that place.
You can submit as much links as possible. If you want to put even one video per link, you can do that. You can submit as much links as possible just in that single document. And of course, you state it, link to recording, link to result, link to this, link to that, section 2, like that.
Oh, okay.
If it's not clear, you can still hit me with questions.
All right. Another thing I wanted to ask. Should I send in the video recording of all the 1 or 2 are enough?
No. Actually, in the class, it was stated that you should just limit it to 3 to 5 people. You don't need more than that. 3 is a very good number.
5. I was just thinking that. So the question is actually that is 5 a lot? So should I send in 5 videos, or I can send in 2 of the 5 that I did?
Fine. Yeah, 2 is fine. 3 is perfect. You don't need
Okay,
to
thank
send the entire thing. Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you for asking, Chidima. Thank you very much. Martina, okay, sorry. Andrea, your hand is up first. Andrea Dizzy.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay. Okay. My question is, when you send out a usability test survey, I think that's what it's called, and you get to see statistics of testers who completed the mission by unexpected path. Please, what does that mean?
So it depends on the tool you use. I would like to know what tool did you use?
Maze.design.
Great. So they might have assumed that there's a particular flow or path for that task to be carried out, right? And then they are seeing that, because that's one of the things usability test tools will do for you. They'll just give you further insight. So they are telling you that there's a percentage of people that carried out this task through another route that they don't suppose that's what you intended. It's just like I was explaining that day. You wanted someone to go to profile picture, right? There's a picture icon on your screen, but they go to settings first and they now go to try to change their profile picture. That's an unexpected path. Do you understand?
Okay, it doesn't mean that the survey failed.
No, not at all.
Okay, Shoko, because it's more than the actual direct success.
So that means that will also tell you that your flow needs to be clearer or less complex. You get, that's what those things do for you.
Oh, okay. Right, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Martina, you can go now. Hi, Martina. Your hand is up. So.
Good evening.
Yep. Good evening.
I'm sorry, I don't actually have a question. I just wanted to point something out in the link I submitted.
Okay.
When I pasted the link for both links were blue. That means like they were live links. Do you understand?
I actually lost you. I heard you say when I pasted the link for, and that's all I heard.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. When I pasted the link for the usability test scripts and the GG app review that you told us today about the heuristics, I noticed that when I pasted the usability test results, the link is not live, but it is the correct link.
So by not live, you mean not clickable? Like
yes.
If I click on it, it won't take me anywhere.
Yes, and it is the correct link. So I don't even know what to do with that.
How do you know it's the correct link?
I copied the same link and pasted it elsewhere, and I was able to click it.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if that would be an issue.
Probably not. I mean, if it's not clickable, I would reach out to you, right? So you just give me the link again or something. Most times, it's just advisable to put your links on a separate line from the sentence. And
Yeah,
you
it's on a
press
separate
enter.
line. Yes, it is. So I don't know. I've been really concerned.
No, it's fine. I would check that and then get back to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Any other question? You guys have been dropping lots of questions on the Slack channel. Now's your time to talk and nobody wants to say anything. Okay. Ike has already said in chat that you need 85% to pass. So please ask your questions. Get all the expo that you can now. Martinez.
Okay, so yeah, Andrea, your hand is up. So let's hear it.
Okay. The two hey, there you go. Okay. When I did my usability testing, I did not input all the frames of my prototype. Should I have put all the frames of my prototype?
Yeah. I mean, if it was an actual product, I would expect that everything works, right? So if you want to test something, you make every single thing clickable. It should be as close to a working live product as possible.
Oh, the frames are actually posted. Everything there is clickable, but the instruction is just for those frames uploaded. The remaining frame of my design has nothing to do with the instruction for the survey.
Yeah, you get it. Oh, in that case, that's fine. There are times when you don't want to test just a particular feature. You don't want to waste anybody's time. Yeah, so you just upload things that pertain to that feature. That's also fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think I saw Chidima's hand up.
Yes, my hand is up.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
All right, so I wanted to ask, when I was writing out my results after carrying out the test, there's a part of recommendations. So there were the things my users recommended that, oh, this should have been part of the app. But I just wrote like the number of, so 9 recommendations were provided. Am I supposed to write out the exact things that were said? Or it's fine as just the number of recommendations that were provided?
I would leave that to you, really. We just want to see your results. I mean, if your results are just going to give us statistics, that's fine. If you want it to be qualitative, which is like what exactly they said, that's fine. But I'm also sure it's an eye-opener for you. And for you, it's enough, right? So basically, anyhow you want to, oh my God. Anyhow you want to, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. Anyhow you want to present your result is fine, but just present your result.
Okay. So another question is, under the usability heuristics for the GG sites, the question was screenshots, highlights. Are we actually supposed to put actual screenshots, so actual pictures? Because that's what I did. And then I put like an arrow. So what I wanted to highlight.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah, well done. Andrea, again.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
My testers, they are very funny. That is why I'm asking all these questions. Like, is there a possibility that the testers do not understand plain English?
Yeah, it's very possible.
Because I do not understand what is happening. I'm checking like the statistics, like going through everything, and then I'm seeing more indirect success. But then when I checked their responses for was the app easy to navigate, I got like 93% yes.
Yeah, nobody's going to want to agree that they didn't get it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there are always going to be a little bit of biases with these things. But you see, they are saying, yes, it was easy, but you have another statistic telling you that it wasn't that easy. It wasn't as easy as they said. Do you get? So that's kind of how you want to navigate these situations. So don't always take their word for it. Look at the numbers. Look at the percentages. Is that clear?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, cool. Taiwo.
Hi, good evening, guys.
Evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry. Where I am is very, very noisy. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Go on.
So, what the issue I'm having with my this thing is that I have run the usability test. I use maze.co. So I get people to test this thing, but I noticed that some of the people that are testing it are I don't know how to say it, but I think they are trying to do other things that is not partaking to the tasks that have been given to them. One, then secondly, the icon I use for my tracking of donation, so I put that up to ask if it looks like a tracker on the distance. So I get feedback on that as well too. And again, I want to ask that the features that I think they are not good enough, am I to add them back in the design, or we are just to see how people will relate with the design or something?
Okay, so I'm not sure where your questions are, but let me pick it from the last thing I had. So first of all, the features, I think that we don't need to see your redesigns. You will go back and do work based off the results you get. That's for you to do. We just want to see that you did the tests and then that you have results. So it's left for you to go back and implement your result. But also the whole idea of it is for you to see that you were wrong in some parts of your design, or you were wrong in some assumptions of how people will use your design. I'm sure many of you are already seeing, and people are even recommending other stuff for you. As per the users, you don't know them, I don't know them. So they're not all going to be smart with your design. Don't take it personal. It's just, one of those things. Did you have any other question?
Yes, I have other question. My other question is that how will I export my test results from Maze to the this thing? So what's it called? To my Google Doc. Am I supposed to put the link in the what's it called, in the usability script or something? I don't know.
Yeah, so you have a Google Doc link that you're submitting. What I'm expecting to see is section A, bullet point number 1, right? And you see a link to results, link to tests. Do you get? So just collect the link from Maze and then paste it in the Google Doc link, just like that. As many links as you think we should see.
Okay. And for the heuristic, I should screenshot and import them to my Google Doc. And
to the same Google Doc. Yeah.
Okay. That one, I don't need the link for that one.
No, you don't. Just the screenshot and then highlight and then your text.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, are we supposed to ask only question about the particular task we are working on, or we can ask?
No, shoot. Anywhere at all.
Okay. Okay. Another thing again, I'm still having difficulty with with what's it called, information architecture. I'm not so good at, not even so, I'm not good on it at all, and I'm not so comfortable with my prototyping skills, and I've watched a lot of people on it. I'm not really getting it. Maybe if someone can volunteer on taking me on it, I wouldn't mind.
Okay, I hear you. What was the first one you said? Information architecture. Okay, I'm going to take it now. I'm just going to go over it a little bit, and then for the prototyping, it's I think, or any other mentor can chime in on this one, but I think that the more you practice, the easier it gets. Just keep doing YouTube, really, or any other place you can find prototyping courses. Take it like one step at a time. Today, focus on like forward flows. Tomorrow, backward, smart animate, just one after the other. Practice, like touch everywhere, hover, clicking, however, just take it one step at a time though, and just know that you won't be a pro like from the first day or from the first YouTube video that you watch. Okay, it's just going to take a while, but keep at it at least. If you don't leave it, it won't leave you. You get? So yeah, that's that. Any which way, I think you should send me a DM and I'll send you like links. So I'll just drop it on the resource channel. More links to prototyping, if that will help. And thank you for bringing up information architecture. During your previous project task, I think there was a lot of questions around information architecture and user flow. And yeah, so the both of them are not exactly the same. I don't have like textbook definitions right now for you, but user flow usually comes after information architecture, right? So information architecture is how you arrange stuff. I'm looking for, okay, we have a website. Let me see. Okay, let's just KodeCamp website, and we have with information architecture, we want to know how we are arranging that website. What do we have on the left side? What do we have on the right? All our nav bar, home, about us, contact us, mentors. What else can we have on that page? Sponsors, right? So what are we having inside those links? There are some websites that you click on, or once you hover, there'll be a drop-down list. So with information architecture, you're arranging everything the way it should be. If it was an app, for example, let's use your iBook app that you guys have been designing. So we have the home page. What do we have under the home page? Then inside that home page, okay, let's say we have 4 buttons. So we have home, we have explore, we have donate, and we have settings. So information architecture is just arranging the information. So so we have 4 rectangles: home, what did I say again? Explore, donate, and settings. So we have 4 rectangles. The words arranged like that. I mean, you've all done it, so I'm hoping that you understand what I mean by 4 rectangles. So I'm just arranging them. So that's what we have in the home page. So then the home is the bigger umbrella. It's the first thing up there. Then every other thing goes beneath it. So I'm arranging something, if you're seeing. So then in the explore, I'm thinking, what do I want to have under my explore page? I want to have categories. I want to have top donations. I want them to see popular donations or, trending donations. So I'll just arrange it under that explore: popular donations, top donations, categories. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then on that donate, what do I want them to see when they click on donate in that page? Cheap donations, quick donations, whatever, right? Under that settings, I want them to see appearance settings, dark mode, light mode, profile picture. So I'll just arrange it like that to under settings. If you have done the previous project, you would likely get what I'm saying. So basically just arranging those things the way they would go in that order. That's information architecture. So if someone is looking at that thing, they know that, okay, this is under this is under that. It doesn't explain the flow. I don't know that from here, I will get to here and back to here. So that's the difference between information architecture and user flow. In fact, that's why I said user flow comes after. So with that now, I can now build out how my flow might look like. Do you understand? So the flow now would be, okay, home, then there's an arrow that goes to donation, there's an arrow that goes to settings. From settings, there can be an arrow that goes to logout, and then from logout, there's an arrow that connects to maybe the home page or sign in, sign out. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? So user flow is basically directional flows, up, down, side, center, however we. Information architecture has no flow. It's just arranging all the information the way they're going to be laid out on the app or on the website. Did that make any sense at all?
Yes.
Okay. That'll be all right.
Yes. Okay. Another thing again. I'm sorry. I'm too much
No,
time.
sure. Go on.
So when we are doing hand off, like when we are handing over, are we supposed to hand over the information architecture, everything we are able to come up with to the developer?
Your developer could care less about your information architecture actually, but usually, and it depends on the situation you're working in. Maybe if you're working in a company or with a client on a freelance basis, it really depends. But for handoff, I even forgot to mention. So the first thing you also want to do is for every website, right? Do the mobile responsive version, and you put it for every web ad pod rather. Do the mobile responsive version and you put it right beside the web view. Do you understand what I mean? So if we have landing page, you do the mobile and just put it right beside it. So, and I think this is something I probably need to share my screen for. So you just see how to arrange stuff on Figma when you're handing it over to your developer. And of course, like I said, if it was in a company, there will be documentations. You might need to write a lot of stuff down, about all your flows. Let me see. So you have the login flow, for example. You have the sign-in flow. You have let's use the donate stuff. So you have the donation flow. So there are just going to be a couple of screens under that donation flow, where what I usually do is long rectangles covering each section. So I have my login flow with a very long rectangle. Under that particular place, only the login screens will be there. Do you get? Then I go to donation flow. Under that donation flow, only all the screens pertaining to donation will be there. So when your dev comes on the Figma board, it's easy for them to, differentiate what is what. And of course, now you have your style guide, maybe on another page, or your design system, on another page. So all those things help with the development handoff. And like I said, the only other part is documentation. So if you are in a company, you'll be provided with those documents for you to fill, so it's easy for your developer. And of course, there are other tools that help with development handoff. Let me see. Try your hands on Zeppelin. I think I can't think of any other mentor that wants to chime in on this. That's fine too. But I would say try Zeppelin. They help with development handoff. Yeah, that is that.
Okay. I maybe if I have any further question, I'll just send them in the Slack channel.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Midday. I think I saw one hand. Okay.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay. Yeah, so good evening. My question is, for the usability testing,
I intend to conduct a moderated one, and it's going to be physical. The person I'll be asking to test it for me is going to be with physically. So what kind of recording should I do? Because I wanted to do written. So I want to know if that's acceptable.
I'm sorry, you wanted to do what?
Written, like I would write the whole process and recommendations they have down.
Right.
So I want to know if that's acceptable since it's going to be physical.
That is fine too. Or you can just record the audio, like whenever you guys are ready to start. Of course, you let the person know, and then you just record the audio and upload it. So anyway, written is fine too. Written is fine.
Okay. Thank you. Now, the second question I have is it's on auto layout.
Okay.
I understand the whole concept of auto layout, the padding, margin, blah, blah, blah. Now, the issue I have is because I saw somewhere where someone was saying that one thing your design should have is consistency. Now, I notice most times when I use auto layout for my buttons, it's the final shape or length of the buttons are usually not consistent because it depends on the words. Most times, create account is usually the length create account would have is different from a sign in or something else. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So is it that it doesn't matter when you are doing a presentation, you're uploading it, or I don't know. So is it that regardless, it does not matter?
So your issue is with the consistency, right?
Yes. Yes.
If a button is saying order now, and another button is saying order your coffee now, they cannot be the same size, right? Even if you've auto-laid it, they cannot be the same. Of course, it will keep pushing it to the right the longer it gets. And there is nothing wrong with that. Your buttons must not all be the same width. Yeah, Tolu, this is your
I wanted to add some. For goodness sake. I wanted to add something. So I think what you're missing here is, I think you're looking at consistency as, this length must be the same thing. There's still consistency in what you are doing, and that consistency is this: your padding and your padding by the height and the width. I mean, you establish the padding, isn't it? Let's say you establish that the top and bottom should have 16 pixels, right? And you establish that the left and right should have 24 pixels. And across boards, all your buttons are like that. That is consistency. Consistency is there, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have to
say. Okay, thank you for asking. Chidima.
Yeah, hello. So my question is there a difference between product design and UI UX? That's one.
I didn't hear you. Product design
and product design and UI
UX. Okay. So let's keep it real. The thing is, so UI UX, in fact, design has been evolving and rapidly so in this time and age. So many things are, I don't know, interchangeably used, and some people don't even mean what they use. Okay, so there are many people and many things, and they just give it a lot of names. I think that your question should be asked with a little more context. So if it was for a job, right? If you see product designer needed and all the job description, all the job description is pointing towards a UI, like a pure UI, I think it's still correct. If it's just pointing towards UX, it's still correct, because at the end of the day, product design, a product designer does UI, does UX, does what's it called, interaction design, and does a little more maybe analytics and business. They are all under the same umbrella. But as far, is there a clear-cut difference? No, there is not. But if you say, is there a difference between product design and UI design? There might be a difference. So the UI designer does not really care. But these days, just so you're even marketable, it's not a good idea to just be like a UI designer. You should care about the UX. You should know how to do your research and, empathy and all those things. You should know how to do it. So a product designer would encompass all those things. Why a UI designer might not care. You don't use the buttons, the colors, you get what I mean, right? Well, I won't say there's a clear-cut difference. There really isn't. There are people that are called UX specialists, right? But down to the core of their job, they do some UI. They still do wireframes. They do prototyping, but they are called UX specialists. So in this industry, a lot of things are nuanced. There are many words that have twisted and turned, but they practically mean the same thing. If any mentor wants to chime in on this, it's open to. I'm watching I don't know. Is it clear?
Oh, I was going to add that, what you said is totally true, to be honest. You should not even kill yourself. And I also wanted to add that maybe you should check out, Interaction Design Foundation, where they were this free PDF now, like you get when you sign up. So there's this part where they're talking about who is the UX designer. You will see that all the articles we've read about the difference between product design and UI UX design is literally that particular PDF actually tells you that there's really no difference. Not that they stated that there's no difference, but all the qualities that they mentioned about who a UI UX designer is, perfectly aligns with whatever article has, done the old differences and blah, blah, blah. They're really the same thing. And that PDF is it's not even new, it is old. So I think what Dara said, as things began to evolve, it's even very typical, it's normal. As things begin to evolve, you see things and you see people changing names, not because there's any difference per se. It's just typical, very, very typical. Sometimes you see something like UI developer, and UI developer is doing the same thing that front-end developer is doing, but they will just change the name that, okay, UI developer, something like that. So, yeah.
Thank you. Also, I want to ask another question. Another question, not, I don't even know whether it's a question or not. I just want to get your opinion. So the question is, so if I intend to, build a career in the whole UI UX thing, where do I go from here? Right now, we'll be done with this camp in some weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to still, because besides this, I still watch videos and try to do a lot of my own. But there's a limit to what you can. Well, there's a limit to what I can do, really, with no guidance and you should do this. I'm not jumping the gun, right? So the question now is, what do you think the best advice would be for someone like me? Do you think I should maybe look for a company that is looking for maybe UI UX interns, or I should just keep learning on my own until I think I'm good enough? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the thing is, learning will not end. Me, I'm still learning. I still have Tolu mentioned IDF. I still have courses on IDF that I've been ignoring for a while now. There are 1,000 places to learn, and it doesn't end. They say how did they even say the day you stop learning is the day you die or something? I can't remember. But basically, you're trying to say it doesn't end. I don't even think, with the way things are going in the world, there's any field where you get to this point and you say, okay, I'm done. I will stop learning. I don't think there's any field like that these days. But to your question, I think from here you should start putting yourself out there. I like that you're being honest, right? You know that you're not, pro or anything, but it doesn't mean that you have to now, stay back and tell yourself, okay, I've not reached, so let me just bury my head in the books or in YouTube or wherever. No, I think you should start putting yourself out there. What? Okay. I thought you were talking to me. So I think you should start putting yourself out there. keep refining your skills, obviously. If you feel it's a matter of self-evaluation, if you feel like you're not good enough, that is fine. People take gap years to do something, to get better at something, and then they go back into the market. So I think it depends on you. I can't make this decision for you. So just evaluate yourself, see where you're at. And if you need to enroll in further programs, that's fine. I think engineer, our CEO, was saying something about a cohort for already, like if you're no more a learner, but you need, I think, an intermediate cohort level thingy. Yeah, I think so. Maybe you should pay attention to that. You should look out for things like that now. You are no more a learner. You're no more like a novice. Okay, that's the word. So just look out for intermediate level courses and start putting yourself out there. Or we have something for you guys where you can start packaging yourself with, portfolio, So with that, and that's usually what you need to apply for jobs, a portfolio. So, because you know your experience level, you might want to start with internships and, just start trying your hands out at random stuff. But put yourself out there from the onset. You don't even know what will come your way. And you don't have to know everything to to get a job. You don't really have to be perfect at all. Many people learn on the job. Just know the basics. Show that you know what you are going to do. You know what you can do. And then every other thing you learned on the way. I hope that helps. I don't know.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay. Mayor of Lagos.
Yes. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Okay. Earlier on, before we had our group presentations on the KodeCamp website, a mentor put on the group and mentioned how it's only logical for our prototypes to have a back button. And for a mobile app or for a web app, I can understand why. But for a website, because whatever websites we're working with would already have, and whatever browser we're using rather would already have a back and forward button. So, and I don't think I've seen websites that has a permanent back button. So how exactly does this apply? Or is it that she meant something? Maybe I just.
Yeah, so I think you spined whatever she said a little too much. You stretched a little too much. She was probably just trying to say that if you're designing something and it has, if you have something that is clickable and it takes you somewhere, someone should be able to go back where they came from. It doesn't mean that you must plaster the back button on your website. We know that even phones have like back buttons, even like phones without buttons at all, like iPhone X, for example, no buttons at all. There are still ways to go back. Okay, so it's not a must that you plaster, but they're just saying that make sure that everything is clickable. There's a way to go back one way or the other. Even you're designing for, can you hear me? Even if you're designing for a web, let's say a responsive web view, you don't necessarily need to put the back button. But if you're prototyping, make sure that I can go back. I don't know how you want to do it, but make sure I can go back. I think that's what she was trying to say. But I get you, I hear you when you say you don't see back buttons on web apps. I don't, so that would be weird. But I'm sure you get it right.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay.
I want to add something.
Yeah.
About the back button thing not being on website, on web apps, the high context specific sometimes. Typically you won't see it. Okay, let me use Jumia for instance. When you go to your profile page, then you see like a list of menus like your orders, save items, blah blah blah. Then on your orders, there are two types, right? You see closed and you see open orders. Then when you click on one of your orders, as you click on one of your orders, do you know that you've actually left that portal, so to speak? Not that you've left the portal, don't let me say you've left the portal, but you have to go back. Let's say you want to go back to the landing page for orders. How do you go back since it's not in the menu? You can say, oh, I can just like click at the top and go back. But in that context, it's kind of weird because it is like down. It's like how will I put it now? It's like a little dashboard that is showing your profile page, right? So when you click on others on your Jumia, I don't know if you are using Jumia, maybe you can check it out. When you click on others, the orders that you've made maybe before, then you click on like a particular order and it shows you the details. When you even click on that particular order, there's another part that says see status history. When you click on it again, you're going to another place again. Do you get? But there's something that Jumia did right there on that little dashboard. There is like a back button, like a back icon, so you can always go back. Is it just me that's hearing this thing?
No, it's not just here. Martina, please mute
Martina.
Let me see if I can do it. Okay.
Okay. So there's like a back button in that mini dashboard, so to speak. I don't know if dashboard is the right word. So you can be able to easily go back. So it's actually context specific. I think you should know when you should apply such things even on a web app. I mean, you don't see it all the time, but it can be applicable in some context, like this one I just explained to you. If you ever use Jimmy, I just go and you see the process I'm talking about.
Thank you, Tolu. So Rukaya is asking in the chat that can you please explain what needs to be in a case study? That's a very good question. I like that you're thinking forward. You should look out for a class. So maybe, I don't know, maybe after your final project, you will have a class or a session on case studies and portfolios. So just be on the lookout for that. We'll teach you guys. Okay, Adeze. Yeah, hi.
Okay. I want to ask the first question for our class, where it states create a usability test script, clearly including the 4 sessions thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have like a specific number of script questions we should have in that session, or it should just be 4?
If you want it to be more than 4, that is totally up to you. But what that question was just trying to ensure is that typically your usability test script should have 4 sections, right? So whatever you do, however you want to structure your test script, make sure that the 4 sections are there. Any other Jara you want to add is totally up to you, but just make sure the 4 sections are there because they are very important. That's it.
Okay. I have another question, please.
Okay.
In my frame, in my design, I have a frame for successful upload and error. 2 different frames. When I was prototyping it, I couldn't put both of them on tap.
Okay.
I had to choose one for tap and one for drag. Is it complicated?
I'm going to need you to take that again. So you had 2 frames, right?
Yes.
Okay, go on from there.
One for successful, like when you upload a book, you get successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another one for not successful. Try again, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was prototyping the frames, I couldn't put both of them on tap.
Yeah, if you tap, it has to take you to one of them, right?
Yes. So I had to put the second frame on drag. So I'm asking if it's complicated, like, I don't even know what I'm even asking once.
Okay.
I'm confused yourself.
Okay. Do you want to go?
No, I want to even ask a question. It sounds familiar. Is it that you were trying to prototype, right? So you clicked on let's say you clicked on a screen that okay, this one should take me to this place, and it should be tapped, isn't it? Then if you click on that same thing by mistake, maybe on the plus, there's this plus thing that shows on like on the notes that you use to prototype. Maybe that's what you clicked on that now showed drag. Abi, what happened? That's a ban. Oh yeah, take it again.
That was the what happened. Okay, like I have 2 frames offering 2 different options, one for successful, one for error. When I prototyped it, I couldn't make the button the upload button to show 2 of them on tap. Do you understand?
I think I do, but I mean, that's not even going to be possible. How do they even prototype that thing? It's like multi-choice questions where you can click one thing and then it shows the click state, or you can click 2 things. For your prototype or for that test, I'm not sure it will be possible, or else you give them 2 options. Usually you have that one screen, where you click on upload, right? So when they click upload, it will take them to successful.
Yes.
There is no way they will click on that same upload and to show error.
My question is, me making it to be on drag, since I couldn't put it on tap, does it make the design flawed?
No, it does not. It does not. But I mean, what's the importance of that second flow, the error state? What's the importance of it? Because if I click on upload, it should show me successful. It is not an actual product. So why do you really want them to see the other parts where there's an error? Like, what's the importance of it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, actually, there's no importance. Really.
Exactly. I know we want to always complete everything end to end, but if it does not concern the person, if it does not really help them to do anything, then just free it.
Okay, thank you very much. Hey, this really helped, because I was wondering how would person know that person has to drag the button?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Design Chi, please. I think you wanted to add to Rukaya's question about case study.
Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening. I guess it's my first time saying something here on the call. Okay, I just want to give a little response to a little answer to Rukaya's question, what to include in a case study. So basically, case study is just like storytelling. You're telling a story on how you worked on a particular project, right? So basically, there will be an overview. I may not want to go into intricate details, like Dara said, that would come maybe later on, at the later part of this training. Yeah, but there should be an overview of what your product is about. Let's say, for example, the iBooks, which we are working on currently. Okay, so this is what the product is about. This is what it's supposed to do. This is a problem statement. We discovered this particular problem is maybe affecting a particular set of people. So I decided to come up with this solution to this problem. So you're giving an overview about this product. You're telling the problem statement. You tell us your users, like, okay, so who are the users, or who are the users of this product? Are they young people? Are they elderly people? Are they people who are maybe, okay, like you just give an overview of the users who would be using this product, right? So you're basically telling a story of everything you went through designing this product. You also talk about your roles and responsibilities. Okay, maybe I was a user researcher in this product or in this project. Maybe I was a UI designer. Maybe I did all of those. I did the user testing. I did the UI design. I did the UX design. Okay, so what were the challenges I went through? Maybe during the course of this project, I had data issues. It was really difficult getting a handful of data or feedback from users. I needed access to real-time users. Okay, so this was what I did. This was how I was able to overcome these constraints. okay, these were the outcomes finally. Okay, I was able to work on this. I did usability testing. I got this feedback. I implemented this feedback. I felt I shouldn't implement this feedback because it may not really be applicable to maybe my users or the business side, so you're telling a story of everything that happened in that project. You're telling us your goals, so when you're done with the case study, then you move over to your portfolio. I don't know if that makes a little bit of sense, but that's basically what should be in your case study. Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Design Chief. That makes plenty sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Precious Kanu said, please, how do I send my usability test to my Google Doc? A link. I don't know where your test was carried out, and I don't know where the results are either. So, but wherever it is, I'm sure that you can get an exportable link. So get that link and paste it in your Google Doc. Simple. Yeah, if it's not clear, please let me know. Adesi, your hands are still up. Should I take that as you have another question or?
Sorry.
Okay. Martina said it's probably because UI experts usually talk about how people design without including the error states of their design. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And that's why we have to pay attention to details as designers. So I keep saying end to end for a reason. Whatever you do, however you design, just make sure it's complete. Like even error states are designs, even empty states are designs. Of course, error states and empty states are not exactly the same thing. So empty state is, there's nothing on the page, but the page doesn't have to be blank. So that's why we have all these cute illustrations these days. And, there's just something there. And then it might also help you to get to where you want to go to. So that's empty. Error is like if there's an actual 404, those kind of pages, an actual error, and you need to get to somewhere else. So yeah, always include all of those things if you have the time, of course. But a job, if you have a job to do, just do it very well. Okay. So I take it that we're all okay. Mide, go.
Yes, my statement just made about pages, different states,
No,
and all.
wait, chill. Please start again. I didn't hear. I think that your line is
okay. I said my question is about the last statement you just made about different states, creating different states. Do we have to do that case studies too? Are they necessary?
Do you have to do that? Did you say case study?
Yes. For our case studies, we were designed.
Go on.
Do we have to include those states too? And do we have to include every interaction that we feel the application should have? Do we have to include it too for a case study, not a job right now, but for a case study?
I would say no, and I will let Zenchi elaborate on that. But usually, see, your case studies obviously are going to be seen by your recruiters and maybe any other person, but you don't want it to be very long and boring. So if in as much as you're telling that story, right, it should be relevant. Like, is that error state very important? Like, why do I need to see it in the case study? Like, how much impact does it bring, or how much impact did it have on your design? If there's answers to those questions, then yeah, it should be in your case study. But usually, your case study will just be the most relevant parts of your design journey or that particular project, But design chief, I think you should say
something. I'm here. Okay, sorry, I just want to understand the question again. Are you saying that, sorry, who is asking the question?
Mide.
Okay. So your question, you could correct me if I'm wrong, is if you're designing your case studies, if you should include the different user states in the case study, right?
Error states.
Okay, the different error states. Okay, error states like well, error states are user states. Okay.
But
I'm sorry, I
like
didn't get that.
input, I said those states are not for buttons, but for input fields, and stuff like that.
Okay, if you're to include that in your case study, right? That's your question.
Yes, yes, and also this iBook the iBook project we did. Part of the reasons why the promotion why I wasn't really promoted to the next level early was because one of the mentors, I've forgotten his IKs also, he kept telling me every element on every feature, every element on the page had to lead somewhere. And usually this is a case study I'll put on my portfolio. And I said I'll be making a video because that was just the mentality I had. Like except I'll be making a video that would include in my portfolio for people to see the interactions. I really do not see the need for every element or every feature on a page to lead somewhere for a case study. Please, I just want to emphasize on the fact that it's a case study, not an actual project. So please, I need
Okay,
clarification on that.
okay. So not I need to debunk something. Not every element, not every when I mean every, like every full stop or comma or hyphen must be in your case study, right? So when you're writing your case study is like you're telling a story of everything that happened while you were working on this project, the very major things that happened, right? So most times I could share links to case studies, so probably you could look at them and understand what a case study is, right? So sometimes at the end of your case study, or maybe in the middle part of the case study, you could share a link to these products, maybe your prototype that could link to Figma or that could lead to Adobe XD, right? So basically when you're writing a case study, you're not putting all the, because the essence of designing for different user states, when you're designing the error states, the empty states, okay, the pre-filled states and all that, is you're doing this also for the developer. And it shows that you actually know your onions as a designer, right? So you're not just like the regular designer that just copies a page and just pastes it. You know that, okay, there are micro interactions on this page. If I'm trying to send money to somebody, for example, there should be another state that would show maybe the loading button. That's a user state, right? So if you're writing your case study, you won't be saying, okay, this is a page for a user state for if you're trying to load to the next page. No, your case study is you're giving an overview of what you did in that project, not like the tiny little, okay, this user state or these error states. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Do you get it? Do you understand?
Thank you very
Sorry, I didn't get that, please.
much. Yes, I do understand what you said.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
could actually send links to case study. So probably you can just look at it and understand what a case study is. It's not like if all the pages in Figma, like all the frames on your Figma board, you paste all of them. No, there could just be a link to you've done the prototype. Yeah.
Okay, please do. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Design Chief. Thank you, Mide. So we're still here. If you have any more questions, nobody should come to my DMO. Ask your questions now, please. Marie Claire.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
So I really am struggling with mobile responsiveness. I thought mobile responsiveness was when you design the web view, you design the mobile view, that is mobile responsiveness. But I feel that from the explanation, it seems like there is something you can do to a the web view or the web design, or kind of, that would give it mobile view. If you go to tablet, or you go to an Android or whatever other device you go to, it automatically adjusts itself to it. So please, could you explain further on mobile responsiveness and how exactly it can be achieved? Yeah, that would be my first question. Thank you.
Okay, so usually I would do mobile responsiveness with my with those auto layouts, because basically, first of all, you're using the same buttons, right? You're using the same components, you're using the same colors. And before now, obviously, it was a render thing with developers. So you just put your designs on Figma, and then you put the mobile, you just design the mobile responsive part. If any other mentor wants to add to it, they can. But for me, I usually just do the artboard thing, my web view, and then I have the artboard. Usually I use iPhone X frame. So I just have the iPhone X frame, and I just redesign the exact same thing, but with the mobile view on it. That's how I go about mine. I don't know if any other mentor wants to add to it.
Okay. So sorry, so my network was breaking for a little bit. So basically, what you do is to redesign your web view in whatever frame you want it to be in mobile, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's part of it. But usually there are little tricks to it, and I think that you should read up on it. For example, if it's let's see, okay, your hero page, for example, on your website, if it's stretched, you might want to read up on how to stack it in a mobile view. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you have things like 1, 2, 3, stretching from one side to get to the other, on your web view, on your mobile view, they're going to stack. Do you understand? So they are going to be 1, 2, 3 from up to down, but on your web view was left to right. So I think it's a thing where you just read up on it and learn how to, resize, because I think that's what mobile responsiveness is about, just resizing and keeping things in the same context as mobile.
Okay. Okay, so let me quickly ask another question. So if I decide to do a personal project about maybe designing maybe a food app or something, right? So I know that a basic process would be to do my research, design my empathy map and all of that, and then do my final design. So now, in that situation, since it's my personal project, would there be a need for me to do a usability testing around it?
Okay, let me be real. No, you don't. I mean, or else, if you want to see how well you've done, do you understand? Like, if you just want to validate your design, it's a choice. If you don't have the need for it, it's just something you wanted to design and put on Behance, for example, or put on Dribble, just go ahead, design and post. Like, you don't need to test every single thing. But, if you are now working for a client or a company, you would need to test, not even might, you would need to test. Okay, so for personal projects, no. But it would be cute. It would be very nice on your case studies, for example. So because people that are looking at your stuff want to know, how did this design, what impact did the design have? Okay, it's just very nice when you've done all this long journey and there are results to show for it. Do you understand? So yeah, if you are going to put those things on your portfolio or case study, it would be nice to have results.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so do we have any other question? If not, then we can actually just round up. Any other question, please, or any other concern? Okay, so in the absence of none, I think it's okay to round up the session. Okay, so just to reiterate, okay, your promotion to stage 8 is next week. So try as much as possible to finish up your task. Your submission deadline is on Saturday, 11:59, of which after that, the submission link is going to be, what's the word? Should I use the word deactivated? Yeah, so that link would actually just expire. So make sure to submit on time and also do a good job. It's 5%. It's the quota mark to be part of the final project. If you do not meet the 85%, you will not be part of the final project. And then if you submit much later, you will be promoted to stage 8, but at the same time, you will still not be part of the final project. So let's get to work. So for those of us who are not in stage 7 yet, do all you can. Like I said, there's not going to be any leniency. At this point and moving forward, every promotion goes through me. So, and I'm not going to be lenient actually. We've done a lot of that. The project is really a very important phase for me. So I'm going to be as strict and serious as I am by nature. So let's try as much as possible to get things done as quick as possible. If you're having issues, reach out to the mentor. You can actually also use the Ask a Mentor channel. That would work. Okay, so secondly, yes. So for this is we're going to actually dissolve every group. Yes, I'm going to dissolve every group. Everyone that's in a group, that group is going to be dissolved before the end of tomorrow. So for those of you who are still in a group that has not been promoted, make sure to finish up. Your corrections and feedback have been given. So finish up and make sure you're promoted. We're going to dissolve every group. We're going to actually have to rearrange everyone. Yeah, I know some of you may not like it, but it's very, very important. Group names may stay, but group members will change. So you can actually say your goodbyes and hopefully you get to see the same person, in another group. Okay, so thank you guys very much and have a wonderful night's rest for those of you who will be sleeping immediately after this meeting. Okay, so goodbye. And yes, one more time, thank you, mentors. Thank you, Dara, so much for anchoring the session. Dami, Design Chief Favor, Tolu, Chinna, Boma was actually left. Yeah, thank you to every single one of you. And to learn the designers, not learners also. Thank you very much.